Thank you for visiting the Combs Waterkotte website and our Felony Lawyer in St. Louis's website page. We have created this audio version of our website page to help you protect your future, freedom, and reputation. If you have been charged with a felony in the state of Missouri, we can help you. Don't face the state and court system alone during your felony charge. Contact one of our felony criminal defense lawyers today at 314-900-HELP to protect your rights and future. Regardless of the crime, we believe everyone is entitled to the best possible legal defense in the state of Missouri. Combs Waterkotte is committed to handling all felony criminal cases with care and understanding. We are not here to judge. We believe that everyone in Missouri, regardless of the crime they have been charged with, deserves an aggressive legal defense and to have their legal rights protected. With that being said, let's talk about being charged with a felony in the state of Missouri. Felony lawyer in St. Louis, Missouri. Being charged with a felony in Missouri is something you need to take seriously. Missouri has some of the most stringent felony statutes in the United States, which is bad news if you happen to be someone who has been arrested and charged with a felony crime. When someone is arrested for a felony, they are usually in the dark as to what the implications are, as well as how it will impact their lives. In addition, facing felony charges is highly stressful and deeply worrying for the accused. Experienced Missouri felony defense attorneys. If you have been recently arrested for a felony and you're looking for answers and support, Combs Waterkotte is the place to turn to. Our firm is one of the most reputable criminal defense law firms in St. Louis, Missouri, and we have the knowledge and experience you need to navigate your way through the criminal justice system. Reach out to our criminal defense attorneys now at 314-900-HELP. We have tried hundreds of felony cases in Missouri and can help you minimize the overall impact of felony charges on your life. Call us today at 314-900-HELP, and we can provide you a free confidential consultation with a St. Louis felony lawyer who will answer all the questions you are asking about your felony charges. According to Missouri law, felonies are charges that may change your life forever. Don't wait to contact our St. Louis felony lawyers for more information if you've been convicted. What to do if you're arrested for a felony charge in St. Louis? Getting arrested for a felony can be terrifying. Your future is at stake, and every decision you make matters. The good news? You have rights, and the right legal defense can make all the difference. Follow these steps to protect yourself and strengthen your case from the moment you're arrested. 1. Stay calm and say nothing. The police are not on your side, no matter how friendly they seem. They are trying to get a conviction from the moment they suspect you, and they are legally allowed to lie to you. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Do not answer any questions beyond providing your name. Do not try to explain yourself, even if you're innocent. Do not talk to officers without an attorney present. Even if you think something is harmless, it can be twisted against you later. Silence is your best initial defense. 2. Know your rights. Under both the U.S. Constitution and Missouri law, you have key rights that can protect you during an arrest. Right to remain silent. You do not have to answer police questions. Right to an attorney. You can and should ask for a lawyer immediately. Right to refuse searches. Officers need a warrant unless you give them permission. If the police violate your rights, it could help get your charges reduced or dismissed. But you have to know them first. 3. Do not consent to a search. The police may ask if they can search you, your car, or your home. If you say yes, they don't need a warrant, and anything they find can be used against you. Say clearly, "I do not consent to a search." If they search anyway, do not resist. Just make a note of what happened. Call a felony defense attorney immediately. Illegal searches are one of the most common defense strategies in felony cases. If your rights were violated, it could help get evidence thrown out. 4. Contact a Missouri felony defense lawyer ASAP. The sooner you call a lawyer, the stronger your defense will be. A felony conviction can change your life forever. Don't take any chances. A lawyer can challenge the arrest and push for reduced bail or dropped charges. They will deal with police and prosecutors for you, so you don't have to. They'll start building your defense immediately while evidence is fresh. Call Combs Waterkotte at 314-900, Help for Aggressive Felony Defense. 5. Understand the bail and arraignment process. After an arrest, you will have a bail hearing where a judge decides if you can be released before trial. Bail is not guaranteed. Some felonies have high bail amounts or no bail at all. A lawyer can argue for lower bail based on your background and case details. If you can't afford bail, a lawyer may be able to negotiate alternatives. Your arraignment, first court appearance, happens soon after arrest. This is where the charges against you are formally read. You enter a plea, guilty, not guilty, or no contest. The judge may decide on bail conditions or release terms. Having a lawyer before this hearing can be the difference between staying in jail or fighting your case from home. 6. Gather evidence and witnesses. If possible, document everything about your arrest. The more details you have, the stronger your defense will be. Write down everything you remember: time, location, names of officers, and what was said. Save any texts, emails, or call logs that might support your defense. Get witness names and contact info if anyone saw what happened. A felony lawyer will investigate your case and find weaknesses in the prosecution's argument. 7. Follow all court orders. After your release, you may have restrictions while your case is pending. Breaking these rules can get you sent back to jail. Do not contact alleged victims or witnesses. Do not leave the state without permission. Do not get arrested again, even for something minor. A judge will see you as less trustworthy if you don't follow the rules. Your lawyer can help modify these conditions if needed. Common felony charges. We defend in St. Louis. If you're facing felony charges in St. Louis, you need an experienced defense attorney with experience defending felony charges in Missouri. Combs Waterkotte successfully defended clients against a wide range of felony charges, from violent crimes to white-collar offenses. A felony conviction can impact your freedom, career, and future. Our legal team fights aggressively to protect your rights and secure the best possible outcome in your case. Violent felonies. Violent felonies carry some of the harshest penalties in Missouri. A conviction can lead to decades in prison, or even life behind bars. If you are accused of any of these offenses, you need a skilled defense attorney immediately. Murder, first and second degree. Homicide charges carry life-altering consequences. We build strategic defenses to challenge evidence and prosecution claims. Assault, first, second, and third degree. Assault charges depend on intent, severity of injuries, and use of a weapon. We fight to reduce or dismiss these charges. Armed robbery. Missouri imposes strict sentences for robbery involving weapons. We analyze evidence, witness credibility, and self-defense claims. Domestic violence, felony charges, accusations of domestic assault can lead to restraining orders, jail time, and firearm restrictions. Property crimes. Felony property crimes involve theft, destruction, or unlawful entry. Many cases involve weak evidence, mistaken identity, or misunderstandings. Burglary, first and second degree. Breaking and entering charges depend on intent and whether a weapon was involved. Grand theft, phi toi ki. Auto theft, stealing high-value property, including vehicles, can result in felony charges. Arson, setting fire to property, whether intentional or accidental, can lead to felony charges with severe penalties. Drug-related felonies. Missouri enforces strict drug laws, and felony convictions can result in long prison sentences and permanent criminal records. Drug trafficking. Charges depend on the type and quantity of drugs. We challenge search and seizure violations and weak prosecution claims. Drug distribution and manufacturing. Prosecutors must prove intent. We scrutinize evidence, police conduct, and lab testing errors. Possession with intent to distribute. Law enforcement may misinterpret possession as intent to distribute based on the quantity of drugs. Sex crimes. Sex crime accusations carry a social stigma and life-changing consequences. A conviction can lead to prison time and lifelong sex offender registration. Rape and sexual assault. False accusations and lack of consent are key defense areas. Child enticement and online solicitation. Digital evidence must be carefully examined for entrapment and legal violations. Possession of child pornography. The prosecution must prove knowing possession and intent. We fight for dismissal or reduction of charges. Weapons and firearms offenses. Missouri gun laws less strict than other states, but a felony firearms conviction can result in long-term imprisonment and loss of gun rights. Felon in possession of a firearm. If you have a prior felony, owning a firearm can result in serious penalties. Unlawful use of a weapon. Charges often involve accusations of carrying a firearm illegally or brandishing a weapon. Gun trafficking. We challenge weak evidence and constitutional violations. Driving and repeat offenses. Felony driving offenses often involve DUI, DWI cases with serious injuries or repeat offenses. DWI, felony level, a third DWI conviction or a DUI involving injury or death is a felony. Vehicular manslaughter. Charges depend on negligence, intoxication, and accident circumstances. Repeat offenders with prior convictions. Multiple felonies increase sentencing severity. We explore expungement and alternative sentencing options. Facing felony charges? Get legal help now. Felony charges don't just disappear. You need an aggressive defense team fighting for your rights. The sooner you act, the better your chances of a successful outcome. Call Combs Waterkotte at 314-900-HELP today for a free consultation. Defense strategies for felony charges in St. Louis. Defense strategies for felony charges in St. Louis. Being charged with a felony does not mean you are guilty. Prosecutors must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, and there are many ways to challenge their claims. At Combs Waterkotte, we use proven defense strategies to fight felony charges and protect your future. 1. Challenging evidence and burden of proof. The prosecution has the burden of proving your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. If there are weaknesses in their case, we will find them. Challenging evidence. Prosecutors must present valid and reliable evidence. We investigate flaws in their case, suppressing illegally obtained evidence. If law enforcement violated your rights, we can file motions to exclude that evidence from trial. Second, violation of constitutional rights. If police violate your constitutional rights, your case could be dismissed or reduced. Illegal search and seizure, Fourth Amendment defense. If police conducted a search without a warrant or probable cause, the evidence may be thrown out. Miranda rights violations, Fifth Amendment defense. If officers failed to read your rights or coerced a confession, we can challenge the charges. Third, lack of criminal intent. Many felony charges require proof of intent. If the act was accidental, you may not be guilty. Proving the act was accidental, we examine whether the alleged crime was a mistake or misunderstanding. Missouri's legal threshold for criminal intent. The state must prove you acted knowingly and willfully. Fourth alibi defense. If you have an alibi, were not at the scene of the crime, we can provide evidence to prove it, using witness testimony. We gather statements from credible witnesses who can confirm your whereabouts. Digital evidence, cell phone records, GPS data, and surveillance footage can be used to support your alibi. 5. Self-defense and defense of others. Missouri law allows you to defend yourself or protect others from harm. When Missouri's self-defense laws apply, if you were defending yourself, your case could be dismissed. Proving reasonable fear of harm. We demonstrate that your actions were justified under state law. 6. Entrapment or coercion. If law enforcement pushed you into committing a crime, it could be a case of entrapment or coercion. When law enforcement oversteps, we investigate whether undercover officers coerced or pressured you. Proving undue influence. If you were tricked into a crime, we can use entrapment as a defense. 7. Mistaken identity and false accusations. Many felony charges result from mistaken identity or false claims. Forensic analysis and surveillance footage. We use scientific evidence to prove you were not involved. Unreliable witness testimony. Eyewitnesses can be mistaken. We challenge the credibility of their statements. Can a felony be removed from your record in St. Louis and Missouri? In Missouri, a felony can be removed from someone's record under specific circumstances. This process is called a felony expungement, and several years ago, Missouri passed a new law that widened the scope of felony crimes that can be expunged from a record. This new law provides some hope for those who have been convicted of a felony because if they meet all its requirements, they have the potential for the crime to be permanently removed from their records. This means that whenever someone looked into their criminal background, such as during a background check for a job, it is highly likely the crime will not be discovered. We invite you to contact us if you are considering a Missouri felony expungement and have any other questions regarding this process. Can you get a probation for a felony in St. Louis, Missouri? In Missouri, it is possible to get probation for a felony conviction. This is typically in the form of an SIS, suspended imposition of sentence, or an SES, suspended exposition of sentence. When you have been charged with a felony, it's possible, with the help of a top criminal defense lawyer in St. Louis, to work a plea arrangement with the prosecuting attorney assigned to your case. Combs Waterkotte has handled dozens of cases where the best possible outcome for our client was an SIS/SES. With an SIS, the client agrees to be put on probation for a specific period of time. If they successfully complete the probation, their felony conviction will not show up on their criminal record. In most cases, we have found the use of an SIS to be a very positive one for our clients. Although they will still be convicted of a felony and pleaded guilty, the end result is that their careers, jobs, and other negative consequences of a felony are diminished. Call us today at 314-900-HELP to discuss your case, and we can determine if an SIS or SES is a viable solution to your felony case. Punishments for felony convictions in Missouri. Missouri's legal framework categorizes felonies into distinct classes, each with specific types of offenses and varying degrees of severity. Understanding these classifications is crucial for anyone facing felony charges or seeking to comprehend the legal system's workings. Below is a comprehensive list of felony charges categorized by their class and what punishments they each carry upon conviction. Felony charges in Missouri. Class A felony, Class B felony, Class C felony, Class D felony, Class E felony. Sentencing punishments. Life in prison or 10 to 30 years, 5 to 15 years, 3 to 10 years, up to 7 years, up to 4 years. Convicted of a felony in St. Louis, Missouri? If you are arrested for a felony, it is crucial that you do all you can to avoid a felony conviction. Felony convictions have long-term ramifications on your life. If someone is a convicted felon in Missouri, as well as most other states across the country, they are prevented from exercising some important rights and liberties. Common restrictions felons face in Missouri and elsewhere include: you are barred from voting in local, state, and federal elections. You cannot be employed by certain governmental bodies, including as a police officer or firefighter. You cannot benefit from state or federal welfare programs. You cannot possess a firearm unless it is strictly for hunting. You cannot sell alcohol or lottery tickets. Contact a St. Louis, Missouri felony defense attorney. While many will say that a felony conviction will not rule you out of getting a job, the reality is that most companies consider it a black mark on your record. If they have two candidates of equal experience and knowledge, and one has a felony conviction on their record, it is highly likely they will choose the candidate who does not have a conviction. It is important to note, though, that the city of St. Louis has barred all employers in the city, both public and private, from considering criminal history when making hiring or promotion decisions. There are several exceptions to what has been called the ban-the-box law, namely, jobs that by law require companies or government bodies to exclude people with certain convictions. The best course of action is to call Combs Waterkotte at 314-900-HELP or contact our firm online if you've been arrested or charged with a felony in the state of Missouri.